The real reason Ferrari charges 40% more for sponsorships and gets it. When you watch a Formula One race, you're not just seeing cars battle for position, you're watching a high-speed billboard worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Those logos plastered across the cars, driver suits, and team gear. They're not random. They're part of a sophisticated language that most fans never learn to read. The average F1 car features over 25 different sponsor logos, but what you see is just the surface. Behind each sticker lies a complex web of negotiations, power plays, and psychological tactics that would make a Wall Street trader's head spin. Today, we're decoding the hidden language of F1 sponsorships, the secret messages these brands are sending that 99% of fans completely miss. From the invisible B2B deals that keep teams afloat to the cutthroat psychology of logo placement, we're pulling back the curtain on Formula One's most sophisticated game. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more F1 content. I'm curious, which team do you think has the smartest sponsorship strategy right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. B2B versus B2C sponsorships. The first thing you need to understand about F1 sponsorships is that there are two completely different games being played simultaneously. B2C, business to consumer, and B2B, business to business. B2C sponsorships are what casual fans notice: Red Bull, Heineken, Ray-Ban, consumer brands trying to sell you something. But these make up less than half of a typical team's sponsorship portfolio. The real money, we're talking 60 to 70% of sponsorship revenue for top teams, comes from B2B deals that most fans never even notice. These are the invisible partnerships that keep the lights on. Take Mercedes. While casual viewers might spot Petronas or Ineos on their car, they completely miss that IWC, UBS, and Epson aren't just paying to be seen by you. They're paying for access to Mercedes' other partners. Here's how it works. Mercedes hosts exclusive paddock events where their sponsors can network with each other, creating business opportunities worth far more than the sponsorship fee itself. A company might pay $5 million to sponsor Mercedes, but generate $20 million in new business deals with other sponsors. This is why F1 teams are obsessed with creating partner ecosystems, rather than just selling logo space. When HPE sponsors Alpine, they're not just getting their logo on a car, they're providing actual computing infrastructure to the team while gaining access to Alpine's other partners like BP and Renault. The most sophisticated example: Cognizant's title sponsorship of Aston Martin. While fans see a tech company sponsoring a racing team, the real deal involves Cognizant providing digital transformation services to Aston Martin's road car business, creating a case study they can show to potential clients in the automotive industry. This is why when you hear team principals talk about the right fit with sponsors, they're not just being picky. They're looking for partners who can plug into this invisible ecosystem of business relationships. Logo placement psychology. Now let's talk about what you actually see, the logos themselves. Their placement is a masterclass in psychological warfare and ROI calculation. Every square inch of an F1 car has a precisely calculated media exposure value. The most valuable real estate, the side pods and front wing, areas that get the most TV time. A logo on the side pod can be worth 5 to 10 times more than the same logo on the rear wing end plate. Teams track exactly how many seconds of TV exposure each sponsor receives. After every race, they receive detailed reports showing exactly how much screen time each logo got. This is why you'll notice that the biggest sponsors always get the most visible placements. But here's where it gets interesting. Teams don't just sell the most visible spots to the highest bidder. They strategically place logos based on camera angles and racing scenarios. Take the T-cam position on top of the car. It's relatively small, but it gets guaranteed exposure during onboard shots. That's why you'll often see financial services companies there. They're targeting high net worth viewers who pay attention to technical details. Or look at the front wing end plates. They're perfectly positioned to be visible in photos of wheel-to-wheel battles. That's prime real estate for brands wanting to associate with competition and excitement. The halo, that safety device above the cockpit, was initially considered an eyesore. Now it's some of the most valuable space on the car because it frames the driver's helmet in every onboard shot. Even the timing of exposure matters. Brands that appear on podium caps or driver suits get less overall screen time but higher quality exposure when all cameras are focused on the celebration moments. This is why BWT paid so much to turn entire cars pink. They understood that a completely distinctive livery gets exponentially more attention than just another logo in the sea of stickers. Pricing hierarchy. So how much does all this actually cost? The pricing structure of F1 sponsorship is one of the sport's best-kept secrets, but I'll break it down for you. At the top of the pyramid are title sponsors, the brands that become part of the team's name. Oracle Red Bull Racing, Mercedes-AMG Petronas. These deals start at $30 to $50 million annually for midfield teams and can exceed $100 million for top teams. Next are the principal partners, logos prominently displayed on side pods, front and rear wings. These range from $10 to $30 million depending on the team's performance and exposure. Then come the official partners, smaller logos on less prominent areas, ranging from $5 to $15 million. Technical partners might pay less but provide valuable products and services. And finally, official suppliers might pay as little as $1 million for minimal branding. But here's the fascinating part. The same logo placement can vary wildly in price between teams. Ferrari famously charges a Ferrari premium, as much as 30 to 40% more than other teams for the same logo size and position. Why? Because Ferrari isn't just selling exposure. They're selling association with the most storied brand in motorsport. When Santander pays Ferrari, they're buying a piece of that heritage and emotion. This is why struggling teams often have emptier cars. Williams can't charge Ferrari prices because they can't offer Ferrari prestige. It creates a vicious cycle. Less performance leads to fewer sponsors, which means less money for development, which hurts performance further. The smartest teams break this cycle by creating value beyond on-track results. McLaren rebuilt their commercial program by positioning themselves as a technology company that happens to race in F1, attracting tech partners like Dell and Cisco even during their worst-performing years. Driver versus team conflicts. Now let's talk about one of the most fascinating power struggles in F1, the battle between driver and team sponsors. Unlike most sports, F1 drivers often have personal sponsors that compete directly with team sponsors. This creates fascinating conflicts that teams have to carefully manage. The most famous example? Lewis Hamilton's personal sponsorships. Mercedes has a strict corporate image, but Hamilton has built his own brand with partnerships in fashion, music, and sustainability that sometimes push the boundaries of what Mercedes might typically allow. His Mission 44 Foundation and his influence in bringing Tommy Hilfiger to Mercedes show how a star driver can reshape a team's commercial strategy. When you're a 7-time world champion, you get to bend the rules. But for most drivers, team sponsors take priority. This is why you'll see drivers like Lando Norris carefully building personal brands that don't conflict with McLaren's partners. His streaming and gaming partnerships fill gaps that McLaren's corporate sponsors don't cover. The most restrictive teams? Ferrari. They maintain almost complete control over their drivers' commercial activities. This is why you rarely see Ferrari drivers with prominent personal sponsors. The team wants all the commercial focus on the prancing horse. The smartest teams are now finding ways to integrate driver and team sponsorships. When Oracle expanded their Red Bull title sponsorship, they also deepened their relationship with Max Verstappen, creating a unified commercial front that benefits everyone. This driver-team dynamic explains why some sponsors follow drivers from team to team. When Fernando Alonso moved to Aston Martin, Finetwork and Kimoa came with him. These brands aren't just sponsoring a driver. They're betting on the narrative of Alonso's career journey. The future of F1 sponsorship. So, where is F1 sponsorship headed? The landscape is changing rapidly, and teams are having to adapt. First, we're seeing a shift from passive branding to active collaboration. Red Bull doesn't just put Oracle's logo on their car, they use Oracle Cloud to run race simulations. Mercedes doesn't just display Ineos branding, they share engineering expertise with Ineos's cycling and sailing teams. Second, sustainability is becoming non-negotiable. As F1 targets carbon neutrality by 2030, teams are attracting new green technology partners, while traditional sponsors pivot their messaging. This is why you see Aramco emphasizing their research into sustainable fuels rather than just their oil business. Third, digital assets are becoming as valuable as physical ones. Teams now sell sponsorship packages that include social media exposure, content creation, and even esports team branding. Alpine's partnership with streaming platform Twitch shows how teams are finding new digital inventory to sell. Finally, we're seeing the rise of crypto and Web3 partnerships, though these have proven volatile. When the crypto market crashed, many teams were left with worthless tokens and unfulfilled contracts from sponsors like Crypto.com and FTX. The teams that will thrive in this new era are those that understand sponsorship is no longer just about eyeballs. It's about creating authentic integration that delivers real business results. So, there you have it, the hidden language of F1 sponsorships decoded. Next time you watch a race, you'll see beyond the colorful stickers to the sophisticated commercial chess match happening beneath the surface. You'll understand that when Mercedes puts Petronas on their side pod, they're not just advertising motor oil, they're signaling their long-term technical partnership. When Ferrari charges premium rates for smaller logos, they're selling heritage, not just exposure. And when a driver like Hamilton builds his own commercial empire alongside his team duties, he's leveraging his star power in a way few other athletes can. F1 isn't just the pinnacle of motorsport technology, it's the pinnacle of sports marketing. In a world where traditional advertising is losing effectiveness, F1 teams have mastered the art of making brands part of the story rather than just interruptions. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the business of Formula One, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. And I'd love to hear which aspect of F1 sponsorship surprised you the most. Drop it in the comments below. Until next time, remember, in Formula One, everything you see is telling a story. You just need to know how to read it.